Oh, I got a lot of headaches, that's for sure, on the bus. No, I thought it was really good. I thought we played two teams from really good conferences. I thought Columbia was very, very well coached. Played a lot of different styles of basketball. I think that's the great thing about having three games in 3 days. You learn a lot about your team, and I thought the last game we ran out of gas a little bit. But that's kind of how the conference tournament works. You know, you've got to play multiple games in a short period of time. The other thing I think that I learned personally was if you look at all the teams in the horizon, Northern Kentucky, they went 3-0. Detroit went 2-0. A couple of the other teams, I think it was 9-2 MTEs when Horizon League teams hosted. It's so important in mid-major basketball to get those games at home. You know, Fordham was able to win all three. They were all possession games. So that's something that I'm really trying to do here is bring 3 days of basketball to Youngstown. I think that's the key to our whole non-conference scheduling is to host a tournament in Youngstown. I just called a guy today. I actually did the research. I talked to Coach Campy today at Oakland. I haven't talked to Coach Brandon at Northern Kentucky. I think Oakland's cost $150,000, and then they had to also pay for the officials. So it's about $180,000 for 3 home games. But then really it's 4 because you get your non-Division I team. So I think that's something that we've got to look at, you know, in the fundraising department. I think our staff will try to get out in the community and draw some excitement and really work toward that goal for next year. Because if you look at our schedule right now with West Virginia coming in here, Robert Morris has to return the game. Binghamton has to return the game. You know, you got a chance to have hopefully 6 to 7 home games in Youngstown if we can pull that off. So it was remarkable looking at all the records this week in the Horizon after those teams hosting MTEs.
When you mean host, do you mean in this building or do you mean
No. I would want it in Bigley. I think it's really important to play on your home court for 3 days. I think that would be awesome, not only for our players, but for our city.
How much did that trip in your city help the cohesion?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time together. Unfortunately, it was on a bus. But you're eating meals together. You're having meetings. I think this team, this is what building a program is all about, getting young guys better each and every day, teaching them every day. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. But the reality of it is we're just a few possessions away from being a 5-2 team. But I'm the big believer, Coach Huggins taught me, Coach Massimino, even my high school coach, you are what your record is. We're a game under 500. So I think as a coach, you just got to keep trying to teach your guys, hey, we're close. That's been my message really the last 4 or 5 days. We're getting there. This team's making progress since that Akron game. The last 8-9 minutes of that game, we were really bad. We were deflated. We couldn't get stops. But if you look at what we've done since then, I think this team's grown a lot.
How much is it going to mean Saturday to step in down to West Virginia again and be in that facility?
It's going to be a great thing for our players. Anytime you can play a team that has great tradition at the highest level of college basketball, not only West Virginia but Ohio State as well. For me personally, there's a lot of memories. I'm not here today without that place, really. But more importantly, Coach Huggins, a guy from West Virginia, called me last week about the game, and of course, going back there, those sorts of things. But I don't think a lot of people around the country realize what a great coach Coach Huggins is. He has almost 900 wins. He raised, $30-some million at West Virginia. He's taken them to the Final Four, multiple Sweet 16s. They're a reflection of him. They're tough. They're gritty. They have a standard each and every day that he holds them to that standard. But more importantly, their players do. So it's going to be a lot of emotions, I'm sure. But you know how it is, John. Once the ball goes up, it's really about the players. They got to go make plays, and we're looking forward to this week. We got 2 road games. So for a young group that's starting 3 freshmen and a sophomore and bringing some young guys off the bench and some new guys. We'll learn a lot about our team this week. Robert Morris is very, very well coached. Andy's he's a heck of a coach. He's gotten them in the NCAA tournament. He's gotten them in NIT. They're at the top of their league year in and year out. He's been there a long time. So we know what's ahead. It's going to be tough.
Jerry, I mean, all coaches, I'm sure, look at your schedule and say, we can do this and that. You're 3-4. Obviously, you think you should be better, or is it kind of where you thought you would be?
We didn't really know what to expect in New York, Dana. I think when we, ran into that buzzsaw with the storm, I didn't know what we would do that first game, to be honest with you, against Columbia. That was a game you go into the first time ever as a head coach and you say, man, what are your kids going to have? How are they going to respond? And then when we responded, I thought, heck, man, we got a chance to go win all three. And that really never wavered throughout the whole tournament. We held Fordham to 28 first-half points and held them to 67. So I think as a coach, you always want to be a little better. You're not happy with where you're at right now, but at the same time, I think as long as you can get your guys to the finish line and playing their best basketball at the right time, I think that's what's important for our program right now. Just to understand there are going to be some ups and downs. There's so many new guys, and each game's something different because each team's different, and each day is a learning experience. I'm sure every guy that you talk to can tell you that.
With Pitt, Robert Morris, West Virginia, even Ohio State, those regional.
Yeah,
That's something you want to
we've played a lot of good teams. I mean, Pitt today in the net rankings that came out, I think they're 23rd in the country. I think Fordham's a top 150 team. FIU's, ranked pretty high. We've played really good teams if you look at all the records. But it just makes sense for Youngstown. For us and Robert Morris to play makes a lot of sense. For us in Ohio State, West Virginia, obviously that's a 3-year deal, so that makes sense. We want to play teams regional, Dana. I think, to fly here for a non-conference game, it doesn't make a lot of sense. My biggest thing right now is I want that MTE at home. That's really, I'm kind of on a mission to get that done.
What's that process for you?
We got to get 3 teams that'll agree to come to Youngstown. You play back-to-back-to-back games. There's so many different ways you can do it. Some of them you can get in. You can play 2 home games, 2 on the road. Milwaukee's on their way to Ireland. They played 2 home games. They went 2-0, and then they'll go play 2 games on neutral sites. So I think it's something Ron and I will probably sit down and talk about here in the next couple of weeks because you got to plan a year out. And if we can't get 3 home games, let's go try to get 2, and then maybe 2 on the road.
Is that like a Thanksgiving kind of?
Yeah, they're different times. You saw those ones on TV. West Virginia, we were part of a lot of good ones. We went to Orlando, we went to Puerto Rico, went out to L.A. one year. Ours will be probably more regional. I thought New York was awesome. I thought they did a great job running it. Very, very historic little arena right there at Fordham. And the kids got to see a lot. The little time we had in the city, we really made sure we went to the Garden. We did some different tours, and that was worth it. But I think now when you're trying to build a program and you're trying to get good wins, you're trying to get non-conference wins, I think now's the time going into year 3, and really for our fans too. If we can get that MT at home, it'd be huge.
I would assume then you would still continue with the tip-off Peters class.
Yeah. We those talks are still ongoing. We have a lot of talks about that. We're committed. I know some of the other schools are committed to that. So we'll definitely start with that every year.